You heard all the hate towards Blizzard for canceling PvE? They canceled PvE? Wait a second. Don't play with me right now, I swear to God. They said it was delayed, but like the whole reason they made Overwatch 2 was because of PvE. So like, you are so messing with me right now. Please tell me you're joking. I'm gonna lose my mind if they canceled PvE. No shot. Hang on. I'm checking Twitter. Don't scare me like this.
But unfortunately, the effort required to pull all of that together into a Blizzard quality experience that we can ship to you is huge. And there really is no end in sight or defined kind of end date where we can put that out into the world. And so we're left with another difficult choice. Do we continue to pour all that effort into PvE?
Yes.
Hoping that we can land it at some point in the future.
Please do.
Or do we stick with this set of values that we've aligned on and focus on the live game and focus on serving all of you? With everything we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that we can't deliver on that original vision for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode with talent trees, that long-term power progression. Those things just aren't in our plans anymore. And we know that this is going to be disappointing to many of you, which is why we wanted to bring it up before we talked about the roadmap. And to be perfectly honest, it's been really difficult for many of us and a lot of folks on the team.
Okay, they've been playing Ring Around the Rosie, like they're saying quite a bit, but not saying anything at all. But this guy, Jared, he kind of basically just said like, yeah, they basically kind of scratched a lot of it. If PvE does come out, it won't be like, interesting.
Releasing and rather than pouring all of our efforts into these singular releases.
So then I'm kind of mad. If they just realized that they shouldn't go with PvE because they released Overwatch 2 unfinished, and now they're realizing maybe we should focus on the live build because we've already released it and now we don't have time or resources for PvE and stuff. Why did they release Overwatch 2 then? They could have just kept Overwatch 1 because everything in Overwatch 2 is basically just like an Overwatch 1 big update. Different seasons, different heroes, different maps, right? So like, I mean, obviously they changed like the rank system and all that, but it just makes me angry because there was no point to making a second game if they're gonna scratch all of this. Like the whole PvE thing, that was the whole point of them making Overwatch 2. So now that they're kind of scratching it and they're kind of like, well, like they're backtracking, it's like, why did you make Overwatch 2 then? Was it because your player base was like going in the garbage can and you wanted to get some hype around the game again, so you just slapped a 2 on your game, like, and just made empty promises? I don't know. It's just, it doesn't strike me the right way because I definitely feel like they didn't release Overwatch 2 and then was like, oh crap, now we can't do everything we planned on. Like, how did they not realize that they weren't, it's frustrating. How did they not realize they weren't gonna need the resources and stuff for PvE before releasing Overwatch 2? You know, it's just so frustrating. Probably they were scared it wouldn't sell. Not gonna lie, Overwatch 1 was good as it was. I agree. I don't really ever think you just need to scrap everything and make video game name here 2.0. Like, you don't need to do that. You just can kind of improve the game that you have. I don't feel like the game is ever going to be bad enough to where you have to scrap everything and just make a second release. And if you do, if the game is bad, why are you making a second release? Why aren't you just like kind of improving the game that you already released? Because the kind of the point of a sequel is to like build on the first game in a way you can't build on it with like a seasonal update or something. It's kind of, it's just weird. It doesn't strike me as like, oh, they just kind of like realized it after the fact. It's like, no, you probably knew this beforehand, but now, you know, it's just, it's weird. It's really weird. And that makes me like frustrated because the whole community was so up for this like Overwatch 2 PvE thing, and now they're just like, no. I'd never like to really send hate to like game developers or like anyone that really works in the game, because I know that takes a lot of work, a lot of resources, and I know a lot of people that work on these video games, like artists and stuff. I know a lot of them are probably underpaid, but these decisions are also made higher up to where the like littler guys working on the game can't really affect the decision. So I'm more mad at the people higher up that made these decisions. And I've also heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that Blizzard hasn't been making like a lot of money, so they might need to cut some funding when it comes to Overwatch League and stuff, which is not a good sign. So I looked it up so I wasn't putting untrue things out there, and I found this Esports Insider article from January of this year saying some Overwatch League teams are suing Blizzard over, quote, continually missed promises on revenue. A spot in the league can be up to $20 million, and according to the article, these teams competing in the league are constantly operating at a loss, making the overall league not financially viable. The article does also say that the Overwatch League has seen a drop in revenue over the last 2 years. I'll link the article in the description if you'd like to read up on it as well. Blizzard literally said April Fools. I know, and I love how they were tiptoeing around saying, like, PvE is scratched, or it's mostly scratched, because they knew people were gonna be upset about it. So they were kind of like, oh, like they were kind of just saying a lot but nothing at all. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was my live reaction to this announcement on my Twitch, twitch.tv/LexiLemonhead. If you want to tune in, I stream twice a week, mostly Tuesdays and Thursdays around 7 p.m. Eastern, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me.